You ever find yourself saying yes to things that you really don't want to do, which leaves you feeling overwhelmed and stressed out? Well, today's episode, I'll share powerful strategies that will help you say no and set boundaries that'll help you regain your focus and peace in your life. Stay tuned because this episode might be the game changer that you've been waiting for. Did you know that, according to a study by the University of California, Irvine, that it takes an average of 23 minutes and 15 seconds to refocus uh, to a task after an interruption? That's crazy, right? Imagine how much time and productivity you could save by learning to set boundaries and saying no to unnecessary distractions. This episode is for you if you find yourself overwhelmed with commitments, struggling to find time for what truly matters, or if you feel your peace is constantly disrupted by others' demands. It's also for you if you're looking to improve your focus and achieve your personal and professional goals without burnout. By the end of this episode, you'll have the tools to confidently say no without guilt. You have the tools to establish clear boundaries that protect your time and energy and create a greater sense of focus and peace in your life. You'll learn practical steps that I use and my clients use to regain control over your schedule and prioritize what truly matters. As Warren Buffett once said, the difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. Buffett's words remind us that saying no is not about being selfish, it's about being strategic. It's about protecting your time and energy so you can focus on what truly matters to you. So here's point number one: understanding the importance of boundaries. Setting boundaries is crucial for maintaining focus and peace. Boundaries act as a shield that protects your time and energy, allowing you to concentrate on your most important task without being sidetracked by external demands. Without boundaries, you risk spreading yourself too thin and experiencing burnout. Now, boundaries may seem very restricting, but I want you to know that boundaries actually give you more freedom to do the things that really matter and the freedom to really have that focus and the freedom to have more peace in your life. Sounds really good, right? So let's get into some actionable steps on how you can do that. Number one is identify your top priorities. Now, the best way that this works is for you to go ahead and create a vision for your life and a vision for your professional life also. So your vision for your personal and professional life. Then once you do that, write down your top three priorities in both your personal and professional life. These could be major projects at work or important personal goals or key relationships that you want to nurture. Having these priorities clearly defined will guide your decision-making and help you allocate your time effectively. That moves us to number two, which is recognize common distractions. Observe your daily routine and note the tasks or requests that often pull you away from your priorities. This might include unnecessary meetings or excessive social media use or unimportant errands. Recognizing these distractions will help you understand what boundaries need to be set. Then number three is practice saying no. Start small by declining requests that are less significant. This could be saying no to a minor task at work or a social invitation that you're not enthusiastic about. Use polite, firm language, such as, I appreciate the invitation, but I need to focus on my current project. This practice will help build your confidence for more significant situations. So here's some coaching questions to help you with this. What are your top three priorities right now? What are some common distractions that you face daily? How do you currently feel when you say no to someone? Now that we've covered the importance of setting boundaries and how to start implementing these boundaries, let's move on to practical ways you can say no gracefully without feeling guilty. This brings us to point number two, practical ways to say no gracefully. Saying no gracefully involves being polite yet assertive. It's about declining requests in a way that respects both your time and the person making the request. This can be challenging, but is very necessary for maintaining your boundaries without damaging relationships. So here's some actionable steps that I've seen work really well for doing this. Step number one is develop polite phrases. Prepare a few polite phrases to use when saying no. Examples include, I appreciate the offer, but I need to focus on my current priorities. Or, thank you for thinking of me, but I have to decline. Having these phrases ready will make it easier to respond in the moment. Number two is role play scenarios. Practice saying no in hypothetical situations with a friend or in front of a mirror. This will help you get comfortable with the language and delivery, making it feel more natural when real situations arise. Then, number three, reflect on past experiences. Think about times when you said yes, but wish you had said no. Analyze what held you back and how you can approach similar situations differently in the future. So, here's some coaching questions that I want you to consider. How do you usually respond to requests that you really want to decline? Polite phrases can you use to say no? Can you recall a time when saying no would have benefited you? With these strategies in place for saying no gracefully, let's now discuss how to establish and communicate your boundaries clearly so that others understand and respect them. This brings us to point number three, establishing and communicating your boundaries. Clear communication is the key to setting effective boundaries. It's not enough to set boundaries. You must also ensure that those around you understand and respect them. This involves being direct and transparent about your limits. Here's some actionable steps that I've used in my life and my clients also use. Number one is have a conversation. Sit down with family, friends, and colleagues and explain your new boundaries. Be clear about why these boundaries are important and how they will help you maintain focus and reduce stress. Number two is use tools to reinforce boundaries. Utilize tools like calendars or planners or management apps to block off time for focused work. This visual representation can help others see and respect your boundaries. Number three is regularly review and adjust. Boundaries may need to be adjusted over time. So regularly review your boundaries to ensure that they are still serving your needs and make adjustments as necessary. So here's some coaching questions that may help you. What boundaries do you need to establish in your personal and professional life? Who do you need to communicate these boundaries to? How will you ensure that these boundaries are respected? So now that you have the tools to establish and communicate your boundaries, I think you're well on your way to creating a more focused and peaceful life. But before I go, let me share a little story with you. Back in around 2019, I made a life-changing decision to pursue my coaching business full time. I was passionate and excited, but quickly realized that to make this vision a reality, I needed to be extremely focused. At that time, my schedule was packed with commitments that didn't really align with my new goal. I was constantly saying yes to things that drained my time and energy, leaving me feeling overwhelmed and stressed. So one evening, I sat down and I formulated a clear vision for my coaching business and my life, and identified my long-term goals, and I broke them down into actionable steps. This process gave me a crystal clear vision and crystal clear understanding of what I needed to prioritize. With my vision and goals in place, it became much easier to set boundaries. I started saying no to projects and meetings that didn't support my coaching business. For example, I declined several speaking engagements that didn't align with my new direction, despite the immediate benefits that they offered. I also declined a bunch of business that was more related to like physical training or personal training type stuff because that wasn't what I was coaching in. It wasn't easy at first. I had to overcome the fear of disappointing others and the urge to please everyone and to make money in these areas. But each time I said no to something that didn't fit my vision, I felt a sense of relief and empowerment. Over time, these decisions paid off. I was able to dedicate more time and energy to building this coaching business, which grew steadily and successfully. This experience taught me the power of clear boundaries. By aligning my actions with my vision and goals, I not only achieved greater focus and peace, but also made significant progress towards my dreams. And you can do the same. I really want you to remember that saying no isn't about shutting people out. It's about protecting your time and energy for what truly matters, and you can actually show up a lot better when you do that. In this episode, we explored the importance of setting boundaries and how saying no can help you achieve greater focus and peace. We discussed practical steps to identify your priorities, politely decline requests, and clearly communicate your boundaries. I want you to remember that saying no is a powerful tool to protect your time and energy, allowing you to focus on what truly matters. If you're ready to take control of your life and achieve your goals with greater focus and peace, click the link in the description to coach with me and join the Unstoppable email community. It's totally free. Together, we can unlock your full potential. Until next time, keep finding your path.